What's going on? What's going on? It's your boy Icon. And we're on 95 South Podcast once again. I want to thank God for this opportunity. It's been a minute since we've been on here live. I apologize for anybody that was on here last night. What's going on, Natalie? Apologize for anybody that was come on here and watch us last night. I was dealing with some traffic issues. I was coming from Virginia, got caught, didn't get home until mad late. So I do apologize for that. But anyway, we about to get into it. First and foremost, I got my partner in crime. You know what I'm saying? My right to my left, whatever you want to call it. You know what I mean? I got my man Jacob, the great Mr. Penny Dropper himself, Mr. Midnight Love. What's going on, Pimpin'?
What's happening, man? Glad to be in the land of the living once again, man. We blessed by the best.
Okay. So we got a special guest on here today. And was telling people the last couple of days, man, this is a person that you definitely want to listen to because he has a lot of knowledge. He is my younger brother, and I would tell him all the time. I've been telling him for 10 years he got $1 billion mind or whatever, and he works for a major media company called Cumulus Media, and he's gonna tell you about some SEO marketing, digital marketing, and we're gonna get into it. So what's going on, Doc?
What's going on there, big bruh? Big bruz? I think I'm frozen on you right now, though, but...
No, you're not frozen. You
good?
Yeah, we good.
Okay, well, what's going on, people? What's going on, 95 South Podcast? Yeah, I'm JJ the exec. You know what I'm saying? I appreciate Icon E and King Jacob blessing me today, having me come on. Really do appreciate that. So let's get it going.
Okay, so I'm gonna let my man Jacob ask you these first few questions because he the one person I know that understands some of your lingo. So y'all gonna be here talking like y'all two people, like two Chinese or Spanish people talking for a second. The people understand what y'all got going on. So I'm gonna let Jacob get into it, and then we're gonna go from there.
Sounds good. We know you still on those calculators over there, Icon E. So you know.
I'm coming up.
So when it comes to that digital marketing aspect, man, how do a business owner or company kind of merge the analog business with the digital business to, make a substantial front and to really gain more sales as far as clients coming in, is more quarterly sales, and what should the yearly goals be for a company when they merge the two together?
Well, that's a good question, Jacob. First and foremost, analog is going into a digital world. That's where we at right now, especially since COVID hit. That affected a lot of, brick and mortar businesses not knowing where to go. And especially with these small business owners, they kind of got left behind. They didn't understand how to do it, how to convert over, and how to switch over. What I always tell people, though, marketing is marketing, be it analog or digital. There's still foundations. You have to come up with what I call your plan of attack. You have to figure out what your goals are, what your target market is, what you're trying to do, what your directives are, things of that nature. As far as goals are going to vary depending on what size of company you are, depending on what your product is, depending on what the industry is, I always tell people, you want to reach for the stars, you land on the moon, you're not missing. You're still higher than everybody else. But at the end of the day, though, you still have to be realistic with those goals. Like, for example, if I go to a car dealership and I'm talking to them about their digital marketing and let's say they're moving 10 cars a month. Okay, if I go in there and talk to them and they say they want to get more into the digital marketing part of it, advertising, things of that nature. Okay, what would you want your goal to be? Now, of course, that dealership's going to be, well, heck, I want it to be 100 cars a month. Is that really realistic, though, to start off with? More than likely not. You're looking at about 10 times the return on investment, 10 times increase in your profit. So, maybe 15 or 20 a month now. You start low and you build up. You keep building. With digital marketing, there's so many different aspects from it. So you want to look at that. I say start off with get your goals in line. Figure out what you want to do, what your objective is, who your audience is, and how you plan to cater to that audience.
Okay. And so, we're going to go into a few things. The Icon could definitely comment on social media campaigning, social media monetization, and also into AdSense that work for Google as well as they work for YouTube, and it's a further things that I want to do. So if we can start off with the social media campaign, the social media months, and then we'll go into that.
Okay, well, you'll break it up a little bit on me,
And
Jacob.
just so what you didn't.
Okay, well, social media marketing, or SMM, is one of the big S's, I like to call it, the triple S factor. You have your social media marketing, you have your search engine media, and you have your SEO optimization. So you want to look at those three things. Those are the three S's, the most important factors, and all three of them work hand in hand. Now, with the social media marketing, what I find that a lot of people slip up on with that is they try to merge their individual social media with their business. You want to be able to separate the two, especially with your business, because you want to make sure it's all about your brand and your reputation. So you want to make sure you're creating content that's specific to your market and to your niche. You want to become almost an expert per se. Hit the pain points that people are reaching out for. Why are they? What is your audience looking for? If you're a clothing store, you want to show what clothing products you have and what's available to you. If you're trying to be educational with your ebooks, put little tips out, put little questions out to spark your audience's mind, keep them in tension, and content being consistently being on there and consistently posting good content that's worth their while and has value. You want to bring value to your customers. You want to bring value to your audience. So now, when you bring up like AdSense and things of that nature, you have your Google AdWords or Google Ads now, and then you have Google AdSense. Those are two different things. With your Google Ads, that's more of your keywords, your CPCs, your click-throughs. So you want to look at the certain keywords that you're going to use. You want to look at those key factors. You want to see your analytics. So learn Google Analytics. You want to look up stuff like Google Keyword Planner. That's a good thing, a good free tool that you can actually use and look up different keywords for your industry. See what your competitors are doing. A lot of people don't, I'm not worried about my competitors, focused on me. No, you want to watch your competitors, especially the ones who are the number one, the top 10 in your industry, in your market. See what they're doing. See what kind of content they're creating. Not necessarily copying them, but, taking that and putting it in your way, making it your own style and creating it. Now, Google AdSense, however, that's more where you can monetize your business and make money off of people putting ads on your websites, ads on your social media, things of that nature. So that can help you, though, because of the simple fact that that's bringing more attention to your pages and to your sites when they click through those things. So you want to look at that as well. The social media, though, is very key. It's about consistency. It really is. It's about knowing what your hashtag. The hashtags are very good. They come in handy. What I tend to do sometimes that helps me. You don't necessarily always want to use the big keywords that everybody's using. Switch it up a little bit. Start creating your own viral. Start creating your own trends with certain words. Be creative. So that's the beautiful thing about social media is you can be creative and come up with so many ideas on which ways. But you really want to focus on content, and not just random stuff. Focus on your niche, your industry, because you have people all the time, especially like I see it, and I have a habit of doing it now that I'm getting back on social media myself, where sometimes I may stray from what my industry is or what I'm trying to do. And that could take away from your audience, because your audience is looking at you for certain things and coming to your page for specific reasons. So you want to stick to that. It's really about those keywords. Google Ads is good for people, but at the end of the day, you have to know how you're using Google Ads and YouTube ads and different things, because you could spend money on these campaigns, but if you don't know what you're doing with it, if you don't know what words you're using for, you're not going to get any results. So like if you can have people click through all they want, but are these people turning into clients? Are these people turning into leads? Why are they clicking through? I had a conversation with someone the other day where they were doing their own Facebook ad campaigns, and they're like, yeah, It's increasing my viewership to about 600 people, 700 viewers. That's great. How long are those viewers coming on your show and watching? Are they purchasing? Is it turning into leads? Or is it just random people you're hitting? So you need to know your demographic. You need to know why they're coming to you. So you need to study your analytics and your numbers. And that's the other thing too. A lot of people don't study those numbers and understand what those numbers are. So as you know, Jacob, we've talked about this before. Education yourself, getting on Google and pulling these things up. You know, in the era we're in now, these AIs can be your best friends, especially for a lot of small business owners who don't know what they're doing or what steps to take or can't afford an expert such as myself or someone else to help them with this. Go in there and punch in your industry. Find out what keywords are being used right now. You know, what kind of content can I create? You know, a lot of these ebooks now, you look at them, they're creating them through these AIs now. People aren't even using off their own head or their own knowledge. So, you know, there's different ways you can do it. But at the end of the day, you really want to know what you're trying to get through. Because, I mean, you could go with a pay-per-click or you could go with a CPM, meaning impressions. You know, and impressions can be more key of a factor for you if you don't know what your target market is yet, if you haven't generated those sets. So now you can start getting those numbers up and getting an idea of what your demographic is, what attention you are attracting, and what adjustments you can make to that. Because, you know, the CPMs go by the per thousand. So per thousand views, impressions. So now you're getting it's more, CPMs are more for building that brand awareness, getting you out in so many different areas on the internet, getting on so many different pages on Google, on Bing, on Yelp, on other websites that have similar content or similar in a similar industry as you, making you more of an expert or more of, you know, building up that popularity, so to speak, building up that trust in your brand. Because people buy from who they trust. People buy from who they believe are giving them the content they're looking for. So you want to look at those different aspects of it before I'm actually going through and purchasing those kind of campaigns, because otherwise you could be spending all this money and losing out and not getting nothing back and wondering why.
Okay, great. And so I'm going to touch base on a few things that most people don't understand who don't study. So I want to touch base on clickbait, click funnel, and Sam Cart and Smart Cart. Are you familiar?
Some of it, yes, I am. What you want to touch on?
Um, I want to touch base on how the click funnels can really uproar your business in a way where you reach a different demographic. So, like, we talking about an industry where you in product branding and you haven't been able to reach a high end client. You know, that really may want your product in the whole company. So, when it comes to product branding, say you do mugs or tumblers and stuff like that, and you know it's um it's 1,400 people in the company, but the company wants you to make the tumblers for everybody that comes through HR. So with that click funnel, that kind of really helps your sales. It kind of helps your marketing, and it kind of helps you as a brand as whole. And what I'm coming to find out, a lot of people don't use ClickFunnels, Sam Cart, or Smart Cart. And these are business owners that I see been in business for 25 years. So the thing is, why people don't know about things of that nature, and
Well, go
and
ahead.
and the people that do know about it, they have somebody like you working in the background, somebody that people never see. All they know is that this they have a team of people, and they team have people can see what it was from last year, and they can see what it is to the current year. So you're not gonna go over. You're not gonna have 2,500 followers on Instagram, and then go from 30,000 in a year unless you're doing something right.
And that's very true. You know, and the thing is with ClickFunnels, you know, and you look at ClickFunnels, ClickFunnels is just a digital way of looking at sales funnels. And what it's doing is it's taking all the clients that are going to be buying and it's pushing them to you. And it's separating everything else. So, with ClickFunnels, a lot of people don't take the time to educate themselves on it because it can be tedious at times, especially when you're starting out, And then depending on what brand you're at, what products you're offering, especially with high-end clients, it's hard to get to them because of the simple fact you're going through gatekeepers. They don't have time for dozens of emails and different things. So that's where, you can use your clickbait. You can use different things to grab their attention and draw them into you. A lot of business owners don't know, and it's key funny that you said that, Jacob, because you're talking about, like you said, business owners have been in business for 25 years. They're still analog mentality. They haven't fully crossed over a grasp to that digital world and what's available to them out there.
And some never will.
They won't, and they're going to be stubborn about that, and that's okay. I mean, if you're still generating income and you're happy where your company is, who am I to tell you no? But if you're really trying to take your company to the next level, you need to start understanding what technology is out there to you and what's available to you. Because you do have people like me in the background, and don't get me wrong, please, by all means, come to us. That's how we make our money, But for small business owners who can't do that yet, you need to understand these things, And it's funny, like you watch on TV or you watch on these commercials all the time, even in Facebook. Every day I see it all the time. Well, sign up with us and try this free trial. We'll show you this free sales funnel, this click funnel for you. And we'll help you develop your business and turn it into $100K a month or 6 months. What they're doing is they're not really making you purchase the product. They're making you purchase their knowledge. That's how they're making their money. That's how they're getting you in, But it's good. It's all well and good to have that knowledge. But if you don't know how to apply it, what's that doing for your business? What's that doing for yourself? What's that doing for your brand? Mm-hmm. If you don't have that knowledge and you don't know how to do that. That's why you do have experts like me and other people in my company and in the background that understand this stuff, understand the algorithms, understand how to generate these leads and how to take that and funnel those prospects and those leads, qualified leads to you. That's what the click funnels are designed to do. They're designed to qualify these people. If you got a high-end product that you're offering to and you're looking for high-end buyers, high-end clients, okay, you need to be able to qualify those people. That's what these click funnels do. So you need to know what questions to ask. You need to know whose eyes you need to put it into, what the audience is you're trying to attract, and how to get into attracting those audiences. So in other words, how are you going to get your foot into that boardroom? How are you going to get your product in front of that executive's face or in front of that executive's or in that executive's ear? And that's what the click funnels can help you do. But at the end of the day, you still need to know how to do it and how to use it and how to put your effort. I'm an 80s kid. So I go back to DuckTales, Scrooge McDuck. What did he always say? Work smarter, not harder.
Right. Right.
And you see it and the thing is about it is I see people all the time working 80, 90, 100 hours a week, and they're still not getting nowhere. In the digital era now, you can work 10 to 15, 20 minutes and see the results of someone who's putting in 80 hours in 5 hours a week if you're doing it right. And if you're targeting your market right, you're targeting your audience right, you're using the right keywords, you're answering the right probing questions and the right questions to doing that. You know what your prospects are. So you got to look for that why, their pain points, what's standing out, what are their needs, and how are you going to fill those needs?
Okay. And so you mentioned the analog and the digital. And so what I can say about the analog business owners is more so than the digital era, they don't really trust the digital era. And I can tell you why. Because if I've been in business, for 25 years, and I have a book of business that's been built for the last 25 years, and I got a 500, 600 recurring clients, and I'm still just off my book of business. I'm still averaging about $40,000 a quarter. just off my book of business, then they feel like they don't need to mess with the digital era. We talking about people who've been making $250,000 for the last 20, 25 years. And so they feel like they don't need the digital era because they're face-to-face people. They sit down, they do lunchings, they do evening dinners, they're face-to-face, look people in the eyes. They based off integrity, loyalty, honesty, and a client know what they're getting. And so therefore, if that client know what they're getting, their kids know what they're getting, their grandkids know what they're getting, and their great grandkids know. So this company has been in the family for generations and generations. And, so if he in one family like that, that person, he or she is in several families like that. And so that's how they're able to sustain through the digital era. And I think they're not gonna change because, you know, some people are trying to get to where they're at, with the digital era, but they was all able to do it through handshakes, sitting down having dinner, looking people in the eye and signing paperwork on a dotted line right there while they're at the restaurant. So what you think about that theory?
Well, I mean, you got some good points there, very valid points. But at the end of the day, and I get that too, because you look at it as the saying goes, if it ain't broke, why fix it? That's
Right.
how they look at it. They're consistent. Their clients become more, it's like, because I've been in insurance for a while too, as you all know, done insurance brokerage as well. And, in that industry, it's also based off of that becomes like your family. Your clients are your family. And that's good for certain industries. That's great. But in a digital era and in a society now, look at what happened with COVID to some of those same people who are in business for 25, 30, 40 years, family businesses. Those family businesses, you drive up the street now, they're not there anymore. They're non-existent, And then in a digital era, yeah, people are skeptical about it. But let's face it, there's always been different changes in society throughout the history. You had the Industrial Revolution, you had the internet when it blew up, you've had so many different transitions where you've had to adapt in order to survive,
Mm-hmm.
And in saying that, their children, our generation and below, are telling their parents, look, we need to switch over to this digital era before it's too late. So we can expand, so we can still keep making that $40,000 a year income, because those same clients that they're dealing with, they're not there anymore. God bless them. Some of them aren't with us anymore. Yeah. Some of them haven't kept up their companies and businesses. So, and then it's kind of funny, like back to the cold click funnel type of thing. If you have a website, but you're not getting any clients and you don't have a click funnel or some way of drawing them in, that's like setting up a store in the middle of a desert.
Yeah.
It really is.
Yeah.
And then, like I tell people all the time now, you got, like, matter of fact, case in point, I was dealing with a landscaper. He was like, Jason, I'm trying to get people to come to trust my work. I'm like, that's great. Okay. Do you have a website? No. So what are you doing advertising? Putting off posts on Facebook. Okay. That's a start. Okay. But this gentleman, he does his truck. I don't knock him. Doesn't have a wrap on it or anything. When he pulls up, got a regular lawnmower and a rake. See that face you're making? You see what I mean now, right? So one, okay.
Back up.
Go ahead.
Back up, man. Back up.
Go ahead.
Back up. You say he pull up in his truck, man. He got a regular lawnmower and a rake.
And a rake. He got a few other tools, he got a few other tools as well, but he's starting out, right?
Like when you say a regular lawnmower, we're talking about just a push mower. We talking about
push
a ride
mower. No ride, no more. Just push mower. Push mower. Push mower. Okay. Now I'm not knocking that, Mr. Jacob, because everybody starts from somewhere. Am I right?
But you got to understand, like, the landscaping business is so high demand now and so much of a competition, man. Like,
okay, but what's going to make you stand out? Yeah, you may be that landscaper who's been in business for 40 years, right? Mm-hmm. But you just said competition is getting crazy now, right?
Right.
If you don't have, if I go to you, I walk up to you, I'm a landscaper. Here's my card. It's got your phone number on it. Now, The next landscaper comes up to you. He walks up to you. Here's my card. Got my phone number. Here's my website. There's pictures on my website where you can see my work. You can see the equipment that I have. Now, that same gentleman just started out. Granted, he may just have the lawnmower and the rake, right?
Okay.
But let's say he has a website compared to another person who doesn't. And on that website, even though that's all the tools he has, his work is impeccable.
All right.
He has reviews that are flawless. His customers love him. He's on Google business page, ranked up. His SEO is right. On his social media, he's consistent with content, showing results. Now, are you going to care if he pulls up with just that lawnmower and that rake now?
It just depends on what the work is, bro. Because
that's what I'm saying. So if you ain't got your visibility up and your brand built up on the internet nowadays,
because in the landscape of business, you just can't pull up trying to gain a new client with just a ride more in a rate. Because most people
they're not going to trust you, right?
Most people got zero turn mowers. Most people got head trimmers, a weed eater.
I agree, but what I'm saying is, Jacob, it's not even about the tools he has now, though, because now he's on the internet now. Now they can see his results. So if you're already seeing the results and he pulls up with that, you may be like, man, I don't know how he's doing this. Boy, he got some work ahead of him. But he's knowing what he's doing. He's getting nothing but great reviews.
Yeah. I mean,
so you're gonna give him a shot, right?
Yeah. You gonna give anybody a shot because a lot of people ain't willing to work. He is, so you definitely gonna try to give him a shot.
Exactly. So what I'm saying is that's what I mean about this digital era switching over to it. Just like clothing lines, you got a mom and pop's clothing store, and it drives me crazy when I talk to some of these young guys that are starting their new fashion companies, and they're like, yeah, I'm at the store, the local boutique. Okay, great. That's cool. You're doing it for the neighborhood. Understand that. But you got a product that, in your neighborhood, it may not buy. Because we all know in most cities and states here in the U.S., it's about the name of that brand already. Yeah. They want Gucci. They want Polo. They want Versace. They don't want now. Right. You feel what I mean? But who knows what your stuff may hit in another state, another country. If you build up your brand on social media, if you're building up your website, having it clean, your SEO optimization, SMM, your social media is right, content's right, get the right content creators on it, get you a couple models, tell them, look, I give you $50 cash app to put my shirt on. They got 10,000 viewers.
Yeah, okay. I see your point. I see your point, but
you can take the analog, and what my point is, though, Jacob, about it is, you can stick with your analog. That's what built you up. That's what got you your trust. That's what got you your value. So you know what? You take those analog customers that you've had, have them start posting good reviews for you. Word of mouth communication is still key, is still king, and no matter what business you do.
Right.
No matter what business you do, communication. Reviews travel faster by word of mouth than anything else. Even if that is through a Facebook Live or a TikTok or an Instagram. That's why I said in marketing is still has the same basic principles. You're just doing it through a screen. When COVID hit, you said people were having sit-down dinners, right? Most business owners been in business 20, 25 years, right? Mm-hmm. Usually sit down over dinner, right? In a meal. Mm-hmm. Breaking bread, like they always say, is always a good way to do business.
Right.
Or a board meeting. COVID hit, could we do any of that?
Couldn't do it. But at the same time,
go ahead.
Those people had built their book of business up so much, they was able to sustain. But
let me tell you this, though, Jacob. Let me tell you this, though, Jacob. You know how many other people who were starting off building up businesses? What about these insurance brokers and insurance people that couldn't go door to door no more? Sit down for a client meeting. What'd you have to do? Zoom, Vidyard. Zoom, Vidyard. There's other ways of still having that, create some kind of bond and relationship. This isn't the days of where we had to write snail mail and put pen to pad. and take a Polaroid and put that in for a picture to see you.
Yeah, but Jay, you still got to understand where the analog owner's coming from, man.
My
Like this,
brother, I'm not
we're not
knocking
in
it.
a day. We're not in. We're not in a day of trustworthy. This is not a trustworthy age that we're in right now, and
I
so
totally agree with you,
those
Jacob.
people, those people who if their kids had to show them how to get on Zoom, which is part of the digital era, but those same analog people, you know, they only did that until the world opened back up, and then they went back to their business at hand. Maybe their kids in the background running the digital side, they find it good, but those people don't care about the digital side. That's why they have the kids 21 and 22 running on the side,
But see, and that's the thing,
and
Jacob. Like
they
I
have
said,
it. So
but see, this.
I don't really necessarily think business went back to business as usual, because you got to think people still working from home. So most companies have converted to that, working from home. So I don't think they went from working in offices to home, and a lot of probably 60-70% of businesses, people work from home now. So they had to figure out a different way to do
it was
things,
their so.
because they're saving money too. You know what I'm saying?
But see, this is my thing about it,
Right,
gentlemen. And like I said, Jacob, I get what you're saying with the analog people and the analog era. But you know what? There's other thing you just said with that. Like you said, they have their 21, 22-year-old kids that are going to be taking over. And this is a new world now. I mean, like it or not, everything is moving digital. And I know it's not a trusting world. Heck, sometimes I do business with people, I don't trust them on the internet myself. I mean, it happens. But in business anyway, we all know business is shark-infested waters at the end of the day to begin with. Let's be real about it. You're always going to meet someone in business, even with a handshake, that you thought you could trust. And it could be your closest person that you've been in business for 15 years that could turn around and all of a sudden, whoa, I didn't see that coming.
Well,
You know what I mean?
let me ask you this question. Let's switch speeds up just a little bit. You work for the third largest media company in the world, right?
Correct.
So I know for a long time you were basically freelance. You was pretty much working for yourself as an independent contractor, work for hire, whatever you want to call it. So by you now working for this media company, how does that change? How does that take you to another level, being that this is the third largest media
But
company
that's a very good point. And it's not third largest in the world, it's third largest in the country.
in the country?
Let's put that out there first. You know, I
Okay.
don't want to overshoot our steps right now, but I'll be honest. But very good point. You know, being a contractor, subcontractor for myself, Icon, you know this. I had to show results. I had to show my work. Even just to get this job here, this position I'm in, I had to get referred and get references. And I appreciate all those references because I built that trust. Like Jacob said, though, that's another key. That was doing face-to-face, being in front of people and conversating and having those conversations. Heck, till this day still, I don't just do over a Zoom call. That's people who are not near me. But my local area, I'm going into these offices, into these buildings and talking to these people and sitting down and getting to know them. Because trust is built not just off of my work, it's also off of who I am and my personality. Mm-hmm. And keeping that communication open and being honest about things. You know, if there's something I can do, I'm going to tell you. If there's something I can't do, I'm going to tell you. If there's something I think you should go with, I'm going to be honest with you. If I think it's not going to be productive and cost-friendly for you, I'm going to be real with you. You know, mm-hmm. And that's how you establish that trust, be it in person or be it digitally as well. Because, you know, someone could come up to me like, look, Jason, JJ, I got 20 grand I want to put in digital marketing. Great. Okay. But I want to put it all in the per click CPCs.
Mm-hmm.
You just start off your business. Should we be focusing on that right away? Or should we be building your brand awareness? Should we be taking a look at your SEOs on your website, your technical SEO? Should we be looking at your keywords? Should we be looking at making sure you're listing in the directories properly? Should we be doing other things? So I'm going to be honest with you. If I say, you know what, I don't really think this is what we need to focus on right now. This is what we need to work on. Let's build up. Let's take steps. Take steps. When you're building something, everything takes steps, and it takes patience sometimes, you know. But if I just take that money and say, yeah, give me the 20K, cool. I'll put it all into a CPC plan for you, into a campaign for you. Then you come back to me, okay? Because the average CPCs and CPMs, you know this, Jacob, what, about a 0.3 to 0.6 click-through rate?
Yeah.
Not even 1%.
Yeah. No,
Okay,
Now,
so
now,
you put
it's like
20K up and you only getting a couple $100 back from that. Am I doing a service to you?
no, not at all.
Are you going to trust me anymore?
like that.
No.
Now you've been with Cumulus Media, and I know this over the conversations that we've had. You being able to basically get on the streets and communicate with businesses, and even your local politicians and everything like that. So, do you feel like what do you feel like that it helped you learn, and even like helped you as far as being able to understand what people really need? How has that helped you over the last
You know what?
couple?
That's a very good question you, Jacob, brought up, and something Jacob touched on about these people who are in an analog world. It helps me understand why they don't want to go digital, what they don't understand, what they don't need. A lot of times it comes from education, being educated on what's out there for you, being educated on how it can help you. Then another thing is some people just don't want to be out their comfort zone. They're comfortable where they're at. They're good where they're at. They're good being local. They're good being part of that community and having the clients they have. So it helps me understand what's really going on out there in the community and what these people are looking for and they need and what knowledge is missing, what gaps are missing. And the one thing I do find bigger than anything is these small business owners have been left behind. That's one of the reasons that they're scared of and skeptical of the digital world, because they look at it as, okay, I see Target, I see Walmart, I see Versace, I see all these major companies and corporations. Yeah, they're doing good on the internet because of the name they have. I'm just a small mom and pop store. If I put 10 or 20 grand into this and it doesn't work for me, I could be shutting down these doors right now. I can't compete with these big names, these big companies. It's not necessarily competing with them. It's about understanding your market. They don't understand how to get to that market. That's where it comes into play. Some of these words me and Jacob use with the AdSense and the CPCs and your CPMs, your SEOs, your social media marketing, your content creators, and understanding your niche and having a plan of attack and formulating that. So it allows me to get to a personal level and get to the bare bones of it with these business owners and understand what they're missing, why they're scared, what they need to do to help their business. Some of them, I'll be honest with you, I'll tell a business owner, look, if that lane's for you and that's where it's at for you, stay in your lane then. That's good. If you're good with the local and that's building your income, great. Maybe we need to look into radio advertising, maybe more so, as opposed to digital. Look at billboards.
Yeah.
Look at those different aspects. But even though we are in a digital era, we still are in an analog era as well.
Well, let me ask you this question. So just like with radio, if somebody wants to be able to get a radio campaign, the one thing you can never do is promise somebody how many spins they're going to get or how many radio stations are going to pick them up or things of that nature. So in your world, no matter how much a person is spending, is it any guarantees that you can provide, or is it just all based on what they do and what you're attempting to do to help them build that company?
Well, in regards to guarantee, what I can guarantee them is I'm going to get them they're going to see results. I'm not going to guarantee what those results are per se. Like, for example, radio commercials. Okay, I can get you a radio campaign for 4 weeks, get you 20 spins, 20, 40 spins, 20 commercials on the radio, 5, 6 days, 7 days a week, however you want to do it. During rush hour traffic, during certain talk radio shows, different things like that, whatever the case may be. I can't guarantee how many customers are going to come from that commercial, from that campaign. But what I can guarantee is I'm getting your name out there. We're building that brand up. We're building that reputation up. Now, with the digital side of it, there are some guarantees we have, like with the responsive ads or the static ads. We can guarantee, especially with the responsive ads, a 0.6% click-through rate, which, as you know, Jacob, that's average. So we can't guarantee you're not going to get less than average. And usually we see more results than that. Most of our results we're seeing in a 0.10 to 0.12%, as opposed to the 0.6. So it's moving. We usually have a higher response than the average with that, So we can get you results with that part of it. But I'm not going to guarantee you, you're going to see a 20% increase right now. What I can tell you is this, though. One, radio advertising. People don't believe me. I can't believe I still say this. Can't believe it. 92% of the country at some point in time during the month, during the year, during the week is listening to radio.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? Radio, there's 8 characteristics to a successful campaign. Radio touches on is the only one that's successful at touching on all 8 of those characteristics. Meaning from social media, TV, you can look at TV, you can look at digital, you can look at social media, you can look at any different thing. Radio touches on all the 8 characteristics of a successful campaign. Because everybody still listens to radio.
Yeah, and stop right there for a second before I give it back. I know Jacob probably got a few more questions when he come back on. Let's stop right there for a second, because the biggest myth in the entertainment business, especially in radio or in if you think about Spotify or Apple or whatever, the biggest myth is that people stop listening to radio. That's the biggest, or
That's not true at all.
That's the biggest myth. Between that, and I went to a mom and pop store in Riverdale, Georgia, and it's one of the last, like, probably in this, or at least in this area, as far as they still sell CDs and tapes. The owner of the company pulled out his log sheet and showed me that matter of fact, he said that in the last 2 years that vinyl and CD has had its biggest numbers in 20 years. So the 3 biggest myths is people don't use radio, people stop buying CDs, and people stop buying vinyl. And that's all a lie.
And that's very true. Like I said, 92% of the country is still listening to radio. Now, this is what I will say, too, with it, though. Yeah, you got your radio that hits on all 8 characteristics of a successful ad campaign, marketing campaign. But as you add more platforms to that, your return of investment increases. So, for example, if you have a radio campaign mixed in with a digital campaign, you're going from that radio. Digital usually increases it from a 12 to 19% return on investment. Everything goes hand in hand. And Jacob, you can look at me like that, but I got the numbers to prove it, and numbers don't lie.
I just got a question, and I'm gonna stick to this all the time. The digital era for the entertainment made artists lazy as fuck, like for real.
Yeah,
like they're lazy, and then the industry did the digital era wrong.
Yeah,
Bro, listen.
Yeah,
it's no way that I should be able to go to Spotify and listen to a whole song. I should be able to listen to 40 seconds of a song. And from that 40 seconds, I should be able to determine where I want to purchase a song or not. So artists ain't really making no money off the digital era like that, bro. Because people can listen to their music for free.
Yeah. But see, we know all that changed and shifted, and it all began, I still say it, with Napster and all that stuff. All that changed the whole way, dynamic way music and direction took, But that's why I say now, you got to be able to say, from an analog to a digital world, you have to figure out a way to bring them both together and use the best of both worlds and take advantage of what's out there for you. Not just as artists, business owners, whatever the case may be, marketers, whatever the case, because you want to use all your tools and everything that's around you. If it's there for you and the access is there for you, why not take advantage of it too? Because we know the big corporations and them, they're taking advantage of it. So you need to be on that curve with them.
Right.
Because if you get behind that curve, you're going to start losing. So, and I know, like you said, Jacob, a lot of people are comfortable with the analog. They're comfortable with what works. They stick with what works, and that's great. But at the same time, we're going into a digital society. I mean, we're already going into AIs now, where AIs are making cold calls for people, for businesses now. So you don't even have telemarketing. Now you have literally computers doing these calls, computers doing lead generation, computers coming up with ideas for people. I mean, even in music. Like, I don't know if you saw it, Icon. They got AIs now that are writing people's lyrics for them.
Oh, yeah. Yep. That's why I said it's about to be it's about to be a lot of mess in Hollywood. You already see that the writers and the actors even joined the strike in Hollywood now. Especially with the royalty side, because that's the big thing now, is that they're being that when everything started moving over to Netflix and all that kind of stuff, they start giving out royalty checks. You just got that one check to do the movie or whatever.
That's the
That's it.
thing too, though, Icon, and that's why I say with the digital marketing stuff, this is such a key point in time in this era, in history right now, because with Hollywood shutting down, not just the actors, but the producers, production, camera, whatever, everybody's coming together and shutting down. And I hate to say this for Hollywood, that opens the door for a lot of content creators, a lot of digital marketing now, because everything's going to be going to YouTube, Netflix, Spotify, Roku, all these different things. So we're in that society where it's getting to the point, all that shifting.
Well, it's already there, because if you look at the biggest sports media company in the world, and I can't say about them, it's probably in the world, is ESPN.
Oh yeah.
They just fired 20 well-known analysts or whatever you want to call them, and basically their thing is they fire those people, and what they're gonna do is say, we're going to go to content creators who have great numbers on YouTube and different platforms and bring them on our platforms and give them a check. And that way we're not going to have to build up let's just say it's a certain person you bring on that might have a little skin in the game from writing for like a paper or something, and you bring him on to your network, you have to build his name up, whatever. Like a Stephen A. Smith, when he first came to ESPN, they had to build him up. You know what I'm saying? To get to that point. You know what I'm saying? So now they're like, we're not going to do that anymore. We're going to bring you in where you already bring your fan base to us. And we just go from there and just give you a bigger platform.
And that's the key point about that. Like, look at the main guy that they're dropped all this money to, Pat McAfee.
Mm-hmm.
Look what he does. He has a podcast.
Yep.
He has a podcast, and he's about to be like the face of what ESPN is trying to do now.
He makes more than Stephen A. Smith.
Right. And my thing about that is, though, and that's why I say with the digital marketing thing, how it comes into play and how Cumulus does help as well. I have access to 6,500 podcasts to get your advertising, your ads up out there to people like that. If ESPN is looking at going that way, if Hollywood is seeing what's happening, I feel bad for the actors and producers and stuff, but Netflix is making all this money off the sponsorships and their ads and different stuff. Spotify, that's how they're making their money, ads and sponsoring. All these companies are shifting to the digital era. It's just a fact. Look at Walmart. Walmart's shutting down a lot of their brick and mortar stores because people are going online to purchase. Because even though COVID and everything's opened up after the pandemic, a lot of people are still afraid to go out there. A lot of people, not just necessarily afraid, have gotten comfortable, rather be at home doing their shopping. Rather have their handling things that way. The only time they do go out is to be with family, really. You know, we're in a different society that's changing. And as much as sometimes it can leave the other generations behind if they don't adapt, it's just the fact of the way the world goes. We're always moving forward and progressing. So you have to learn to progress with the world, especially in business. You have to always be progressing and always have to be willing to think outside the box and even step outside your comfort zone if you want to succeed. You know?
Well, listen, bro, I appreciate you coming on and giving us your time and letting the people know. I don't want you to give out too much. It's like having a book or a movie. You don't want to give out too much of the content or whatever at one time. You know what I mean? But you did a good job of giving enough information for people to understand what you do and what they need, where they need to go, as far as getting information to build their companies up. So just to let everybody know where they can find you and or whatever, and just give all your information out. You know what I'm saying, or whatever.
Yeah, most def, Icon. Well, Icon King Jacob, I appreciate y'all having me on here. You can find me on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn. I'm JJ the Exec. You know, Jason Jones. My email directly at Cumulus is jason.jones@cumulus.com. You can also go on to cumulusmedia.com and see everything we do. We're a one-stop shop from doing your website builds, your SEO, your social media, podcast advertising, OTT advertising, anything you need. I guess I should let everybody know as well. I just let Icon and Jacob recently know that I am going to be putting out an ebook in regards to that. It's called POA, Plan of Attack. Okay, it's basically marketing in a digital world. So I'll be helping out with that. Stay tuned for that in the next few months as well. But it's been a pleasure. I hope I helped anybody. Feel free to reach out to me on Facebook or anything else. I'm always happy to give the knowledge and advice that I have. Wish I could have gave a little bit more. I tend to ramble at times, so I know I'd be all over the place. But I'm definitely here happy to help anybody I can in any kind of way with your business or anything else.
All right. Well, until next time, my man had to get off of here. But till next time, you know what I'm saying? It's your boy Icon E. We on 95 South Podcast, and y'all have a blessed weekend.
Got the good vibes, got the 1942 pouring in my cup. In the session real loud, good gas, yeah, you know we about to roll it up.